Hi everyone, and welcome to day one for the AMS City Jam, which is getting started by Python. We'll be getting into AML topic for the next four or three sessions, which includes this session, and we'll be keeping going into ML AI topic. This is the start, which is Python, and a few things that you need to know before you get into session is that there is attendance and you need to fill out the form indicating certificate of participation. And this will participation or certificate will be a one time. So this includes all the details that so far you have conducted or so far you have participated. So if you don't watch if you were not in the live, you need to that you watch the recording, and I'll share the form, which is a Google form where you can mark it in, and you will be able to mark it every day that you participate. After the 4 days you of participation, you will get the form to get your certificate of participation. So that's how it will work. And it's going to be a recording and will be shared in our YouTube channel. And if you find the today's session, we have a Discord community where we will update about the same sessions and the upcoming session if there is any announcement related to it. And we'll be updating all the upcoming sessions there as well. I will share the link to our community pretty soon in the chat box, and you can join if you like the updates. But with that, I am done here, and Anurag, who is our speaker for today, and I welcome you to start the session and getting into Python. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Suraj. And let's start. I think I'll share my screen. Okay. So can you guys see my screen? Okay, so yeah, but I can't. So it's the screen that getting started with Python is written, right? Not the another one. Yep. So let's get started. Yeah. Thank you guys for joining and staying till now. I think we are 1 hour late or half an hour late. Sorry for that. And yeah, let's get started. I'm really glad that you guys could join. And in this session, we'll talk about the basics of Python, about data types, control flow, and functions. And after we have discussed the basics, we'll take a short break. Then we will do a task like we'll write a basic program to to use what we have learned today. So basically that will be it. So we are a bit late, so let's dive right in. So before starting Python, let's know what is a Python. Python is a programming language that is super easy to learn. That's why many people from not from also not from the programming background are learning Python so easily. So yeah, it's also popular. It is by the companies like Google, NASA, and also in Instagram. It is used. So yeah, so it's great language for beginners. So I think you guys could learn the concepts easily. So and let's go forward with how to install a Python. I will not go through all of this. It's just a link you can download and yes, you can just download and Python from here and install. Follow the instructions and to install it, and that will be it. Once you have installed Python, then uh, you can just verify your installation with like you can run this command. So like sorry, it's Python 3. So yeah, if you do this and you get a Python version, then yeah, it's Python is installed in your system. So I have to do this again. Okay. So yeah, once you have downloaded the Python, you can run it. Like let's see how we can run Python. So I'm doing it a bit fast because we have lost some time. So yeah, it's not that you can. It's really simple. So yeah. So once you have downloaded and installed the Python, uh, how so yeah, to run a Python, you can just let me show you. So you can open a terminal or command prompt what you have, and let me make things even bigger. Yeah. So yeah, once you have Python installed, you can just verify with this, and you can execute Python interpreter just by typing Python 3 command and hitting enter. Oh, my bad. It's Python. I can see why Python in the screen. Well, that's strange. Is it still why Python? Because I'm why I guess can you see my terminal? It's I have written Python 3 in it. So if just one problem or all of you guys are seeing why Python is till now, write in the chat. I'm seeing that too. Nice. Okay. So yeah, what is in the screen, please, guys? Write in the chat because one of you said that it's why Python is still. Yeah, this looks look okay. So yeah, so Python 3 from this command you can get into the Python interpreter and play around with the basic Python commands. So for example, you can use Python as a calculator as well. So like if we do 1 plus 2, it will return 3. Yeah, thank you. So 1 plus 2 will return 3. Similarly, you can do multiplication also. So yeah, and also print something here. So this is a basic Python interpreter. This is how you test your codes running single commands. And now I will show you how to run a Python file, how to save it, and how to execute it with Python. So yeah. So Python files are stored with extension.py. So if I create a Python hello, if I create a file with hello.py and write a Python code like print. So basically print is what displays print function displays something in the screen that you pass into it. So print is like if you have done C, it's like printf or anything. So yeah, if you say print hello world like this, it should output hello world to our terminal. So yeah, so I have said this. Let's see what's in hello.py. So if I have written print hello world in hello.py, and to run this, I can simply do Python 3 and the file name, and it will run our Python file. So this is how you run Python file. And for this session, I will use the web version of Python interpreter so that I can share this with you later on, which is also called Jupyter Notebook. So yeah, to do this, I will come here and search Jupyter Notebook, and I'll try this one. So you don't have to install Python to try this. So you can just test it as we go now. So yeah, it will open something like this, and let's add a Python notebook here. So it's basically the Python in console that we saw in the terminal. It's like that. You can write command here, Python, Python here, and if we run it, it will give you an output. So that this way it would be easier for us to learn and check and share also. So yeah, this is what we will be using for today's session to learn the concepts of Python. And yeah, let's get started. So for the so from to start with, we will start with the variables and data types in Python. So variables are how okay, questions later, please. We will have 15-minute session for the questions. So variables and data types. So variables are the are something whose values changes with the program. So it's not always same. So let's see. Um, well, okay, yep, got it. So yeah, here, for example, if uh, we can assign a value to variable as a equals to 1, for example, so that a is a variable and it's holding value 1 at the moment. But if we in our program later, if we want to change this value, we can simply assign to a equals to 2, and we can reference is as a. So its value is 2, and let's do this. Can get in here. So if a equals to 1 and we print a here, its value is 1. And if I do a equals to 2, and if I print if I do a equals to 2, and if I print a here, its value is 2. So basically this is the concept of variables whose values change with the program. As we run our program, its values might change. So as you can see, so we have different types of variables or different data types in Python. For example, integers. So this one that I have written here is an integer. So integer is basically a whole number. So yeah, to check what's the type of this thing is, we can do like we can type in here and give me the type of a, and it will give you what's the type of a is. So it's int. So it's an integer. And similarly, so integer supports different operations for all the arithmetic operations that we do in our maths. That is supported basic. The examples are it. So 1 plus 1 is supported for the addition, multiplication you can do 1 minus 1, division you can do 1 by 1 divided by 1, or 2 divided by let's say 4 divided by 2, you can do division here, and you can do 5 multiplied by 3, and then it will multiply you, and as our variables, so we can assign a equals to 5 and b equals to 6, and we can do a into print a into b. It will give us, oh sorry, a into b, and it will give us 30. So it does the multiplication. So these are the basic integers. So now let's get into floats. Floats are the thing. Floats are the numbers that are not integers. For example, decimal values. So like 1.2. This is a float. This is stored in Python as floating point numbers. So it's a float, and you can do all the operations with with integer in this float. So all the integer operations are supported in float. You can, so these two are the numeric data types. You can do numeric operations with it. And next we have strings. So strings are the set of characters that we set. So for example, if we have a sentence, my name is June, so it's a string. So you can just write like this in Python. So you have to save a string with quotes. So you can get the values with double quotes. So I like sentence equals to my name is June, and it is set. Now you can print sentence. So yeah, it's a string. So also you can use single quote for the strings in Python, and it will be stored in this sentence variable. So let's talk about the string operations. The first things that we need to learn is formatting strings. So we can't always just assign a string to this like this. So for example, we have a name variable, we say June, and we want to put this in a sentence. My name is and June. But the thing is, you can't always type the value. Sometimes this value is input from the user, or you take this from somewhere else. So uh, to do this, what we can do is we can format this string. So there are three ways of formatting strings in Python, but I will. So yeah, first one is using f strings. So what you can do is you can start with f and give double quotes, and then do my name is, and inside curly brackets you can pass in the variable that you stored the name in it. So my name is, to if I do this, set this in sentence. So my sentence is my name is, and what the value of name variable holds. And if I print this sentence, what it will do is it will print my name is June. And also I can change the value of name to anything. So if I say this is Ram, and now if I print this, it will be my name is Ram. So this way you can format a string. Another way is to format a string is you can use dot format operator. The dot format function. Yes. So if you just like this, you can type. Okay, let's add another one. So yeah, sentence 2 equals to my name is, and you can put a empty bracket here, and that then say dot format, and you can pass the variable here name. So what it will do is it will find the first pair of brackets and replace this with name. And if I print this, it will be my name is Ram. So this is basically same as this one. And another data type that we use is booleans. That we have in Python is booleans. Boolean is basically true or false. That means 0 or 1. These are binary values. So it can either hold true or false. For example, we can do a equals to true. So this will be true, and if you say it's false, then it will be false. So with Boolean values, you can, so where the Boolean values are used? Boolean values are usually the outputs of the comparison. So for example, if we have a equals to 6 and b equals to 8, and if you want to find out a is greater than b or not, then if we run this, it will say false. So this is a Boolean value. If we check the type of this will be a Boolean. So this is how we use Boolean values, and with Boolean values you can do the logical operations such as true or false. So this will do the logical operations and it will return true. Yeah, and you can do true and false. It will return false if one of them is false. For example, if the use case of this is we can do, let's say if we have c equal to 10, then we can say a is less than b and b is less than c. Let's see if the both cases are true or not. Okay, my bad. So now a is less than b and b is less than c, both are true. And if you turn this around, it will be false because it's AND. And if you want to do OR operation, it will be true because either one of them is true. So these are the basic types of basic data types. Now we go into the collection. Yeah. So the collections. So these are the basic data types, and now we go into the list. So basically, list data type is the collection of other items. It contains the items. Just like if you have any programming experience, then it's, wait a minute, I need this. Actually, my light is gone and my monitor is down. So So yeah. So yeah, a list is the collection of items. So you can define this with square brackets and write 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be a list of numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. So for example, if we set this as my list equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you want to know type of this, it will show as my list. So it's a list. My list is a list data type. And so for the simple list operations, we can add items to the list. We can remove items from the list. For example, let me show you. So I have a list. Now now my list contains 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I want to add item to my list, I can simply say my list dot append, and I will pass in the value that I want to add. So for example, I have in my list I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and if I want to add 5 in it, I can simply say my list dot append 5. It will add 5 to my list. For example, let's see what happens if I print my list. Print my list. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. Well, I did it twice, so let me do this again. First, my list is 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I run this, and if I print my list now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want to add more, I can simply do. If I want to add 6, I can do this. And if I print my list now, it would be it would add 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And to remove an item from list, you can simply do use remove my list dot remove, and I want to remove 6 from it. Then it will remove 6. If I print my list now, it will have only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So and now we have to, if we need specific element from a list, for example, we want to access this 3 value from the list, then we have to use the indexing. So in any programming language, the list index starts from 0. So this one is on 0th index, and this is on 2 is on 1 index. So this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. If you want to access this element, which is on 0, 1, 2, so its index is 2. So if I do my list, and inside the square bracket I type in 2, then it will output 3. It's in the position 2. We let's say we have another list, my other list, whose values are 6, 9, 8, 8, and 3. And if I want first item of this list, I can do my list 0. Okay, sorry, other list. Another list. So the first item is 6. If I want second item, I can do other list 1. Then it will give me second item. So if I want the last item, what I can do is I can count the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, or in Python we can use negative indexing as well. For example, this 3 will be in the -1 position and this 8 will be in -2 position. So if we say if you simply want the last item of the list, we can simply do other list and -1. It will return 3. So it's the last. Similarly, if we do -2, it will return 8, the second number. So similarly, so this is the list, and we have known how to add items to the list, how to remove items from the list, how to extract a value from a position. So let's get into the next data type, which is tuple. A tuple is similar to list, which also holds the set of elements, but it's read only. You can't just modify it. So to define a tuple, uh, you can use small bracket and say 1 comma 2 comma 3, and it's a tuple. So yeah, and let's keep it this much, and we will learn more about when we are actually using the tuple. Okay. So similarly, another data type that stores a stores a collection of items is set. So set is also, it's like the set in math, that for example my set equals to, you can define them with curly bracket and you can write 1, 2, 3, and it's my set. And if you give equal to set 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, if you want to add duplicate items in set, it won't accept it because it's a set. Its items are unique. So that's the property of set. We can explore the other methods of set later on, other are set operators. So another data type is dictionary. So basically dictionary is a mapping. For example, if I want a, so dictionary is also created with curly bracket, but with different syntax. For example, I want apple as fruit. So this is a dictionary. Its key is apple and its value is fruit. It stores key value pairs. So another thing, what can we do here? We can keep write dog and it's an animal. So it's a dictionary. It has values of things. It has the names of things and its type. So apple is a fruit, dog is an animal. So let's set this in my dictionary. Let's set it. And now, if I want to know the type of apple, I can do this. My get apple. It will give me the type of apple. So it's a fruit. So this is how dictionary is used. My.get apple. So type of apple is fruit. If I want to know the type of dog, I can simply say dog, and it will give me animal. Dog is an animal. So this is a dictionary. So we have some dictionary operations as well. For example, if we want to add another item in a dictionary, for example, in our MyDis, we want to update it and we pass it another item. For example, we would like to add, what can we add here? So yeah, we can say MacBook and say laptop. So in update, you pass another dictionary that will be added to this one. So it's in curly bracket, and there you can type in the key and you type colon and it's another value is, and it will add this, and it will add this to my dict. So it will type here. So it has MacBook laptop. It has added this. Another way to add a key to list or update key to list is simply like we do in array. You can just say you can say orange. So I want to add orange as fruit. This will also add orange to this list, to this dictionary. So let's, you can see there is orange. And if you want to change the type, for example, the type of this MacBook is laptop here. So maybe we want to change that. To do that, we can simply do in square bracket, we type in the key, which is MacBook, and equals to, and save its new value. For example, MacBook is, we want to save this as Ultrabook. So if you see now, its value is updated. MacBook is Ultrabook now. So these are the basic data types, and let me let me tell you about how do we get input from the user in terminal or in console. So there is a command called input, if, and you can pass in here the prompt. So your name, if you say this, it will ask you your name. For example, name equal to, is there something. So I pass John, so John name is taken, but it's just taking input, it's not doing anything. So let's save this input to a variable. For example, name equals to input. So whatever the user types in will be stored as name variable here. So if I type John here, and if I print name, it says John. So if I just print, yeah, it's John. This is how you take input from user. So it says py finished result zone, but in console it will just say zone. We'll do this in the second part of this session where we write a program and take input from user. So these are the basic data types of Python. And now next, so we have control flow statement. So these are the statements or the features that allows us to define or change the control flow of the program. For example, let's see. So we have series of command print. So we have return a equals to 10, b equals to 20, and if we want to print a equals to 20, sorry, a if we want to print total and set, and the sum is, and print a plus b here. We want to print a plus b. So in the, what will be the order of our execution? It will be first the interpreter will run this command, this, and then it will run this statement, and it will go on to run this print, and this, then it will print a plus b. For example, let's see, run this. It's first it stores as a equals to 10, then it stores as b equals to 20, then it will print total, and then it will print 30. So this is the basic flow of the program. But if we want to change this flow according to some conditions, then we will need control flow. So control flow statements. So in Python, we can control the flow of command, control the flow of program through if statement. These are the conditional statements. So if we want to do something when some condition is true and do another thing when it is false, we can use if statement, and we have for then we have loops. So we have a list of items, or we have to do series, we have to do something repeatedly, then we can use loops. Let's get into if statement. So we have a equals to 10 and b equals to 20. And if you want to, if a is greater than 20, we want to print a is greater, and otherwise we want to print b is greater, or let's say a is not greater. So in our flow, we want to do this if this condition meets, and you want to do this otherwise. So the syntax of if statement is you write simply if, and then you will write your condition. So a is greater than 20 is a condition, and it will, if this is true, it will print a is greater. If this is false, then it will print a is not greater. Let's run. So a is not greater, it says. But if we change this value, a's value to 30, let's run it again, and it will say a is greater. This is how print statement works, or how if statement works. Now, if we want to find out which one is greater and also print if they both of them are same, then what we can do is, if a is greater than 20, a is greater, then we have ellipse condition. So if b, so first let's start with this. If a equals to b, so the equals to operator will assign 30 value to a, whereas double equals to will compare these two values if they are equal or not. So if a equals to b, print, we can do both are equal or both are same. And elif else if a is greater than b. Here you can see elif. So it is else and if. So if this is false, it will go on to this and check this condition. If a is greater than b, print a is greater. And finally, we have else. This is when both of these cases are false, it will come to this. And in our case, it will be b is greater. So if we run this, now it will have a is greater. And if I change this to 40, it will say b is greater. And if I make both of them same, it will say both are same. So this is how we use if statements. This is how we control the flow of program through if statements. Now let's get to next control flow statement, which is for loop. So what is for loop? So basically for loop is if we want to do some set of operations for the each elements of some list, we can use for loop. For example, we have a list. So we have a list of numbers and they are 1, 2, 5 and 6, and we want to add or we want to simply square every one of them and print the output. Then what we can do is for we can use for loop here for number in numbers. This is for each number in this list, which is called as numbers, or you can simply say n for the simplicity for n in numbers. Let's print all of them. Let's print n. So this n will this will loop through each elements and give us and it will assign the value of each element to n. For example, for first time it will assign 1 to this n, and then it will assign 2 to n, then 5 and then 6. So if we do this, we'll get 1, 2, 5 and 6. So let's get back to our problem. We wanted to square every one of them. So this is basically n times n. If I want to find n times n of all elements in a list, like we can do 1, 4, 24, 36. So it will print the squares of these numbers. This is how we can use for loops. So it's basically a for each loop. Now there is another use case of for loop. We want to do certain things for certain time. So we want to print hi for 5 times. We want to print hello world 5 times. So what to do here? We can simply do. We have a function in Python called range. This will give us the numbers from. So we can pass 1. It will give the number up to 5. So it will give us 5 numbers. So it will start from 0 and it will end at 4. And if we just simply print hello, it should print. Okay, let's do this new one. So yeah, for I in range 0 to 5. So what the range will do is it will generate a iterator which is similar to the list with first item 0 and last item 4. So it will in total have 4 items, 5 items. So from 0 to 4. And if we print I here, we can see what it will generate. So 0 to 4. So now what we can do is then print hello world, and it will print hello world 5 times. Now if we want to put the count in here also, so like we can use f string, and we can format this to store I, to print I also. I is basically the count of this. So if we print this, it will print hello world 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is a for loop. It will loop through the elements in a list or in a collection. Now let's get to another control flow, which is while loop. So while loop is similar to the for loop, but it's a bit different. A while loop will perform a set of operations until its condition is true. So till its condition is met, it will do something. For example, so we have a counter. We have a variable called counter, 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 and its value is, let's say, it starts with 1. We can say while counter is less than 10, print counter. So it will print the numbers. And also we want to do is we want to increase this counter. Counter equal to, sorry, counter is counter plus 1. So it will print the counter value and it will increase the counter value. Counter equals to where was the previous value of counter, and it will add 1 to it. So counter plus 1. So and it will run until it is until its value is equals to 10. So while it is less than 10, it will run here, and if this condition is false, then it will exit. Let's run this. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It print till 9, and then it will exit the condition. So this is while loop. And now do we have the control flow is also done. So next is functions. So yeah, what are functions? Functions are the reusable block of code that perform a specific task. So if you have a set of code that does something and you want to use it repeatedly, you can define a function and put that set of code there, and it will do that. And you call it. Let's see. So what we can do? Suppose we want to greet a list of persons. For example, we have list of names equal to zone and we have Raju, we have Raja, and we have Ram. So we have a list of names and we want to greet them all. In our simpler codes, what we can do is for name in names, print hello, and use format string here and hello name. And we just okay. So if we run this, so it will get all of them. But if we want to do so, if we have another statement, print you are welcome, it will do hello zone, you are welcome, hello Raju, you are welcome. So it will welcome them all. But this can be a, a huge block of code that we want to do for all names. In our example, we have 2 lines of code, but it can become many lines of code. So to do that, we can simply define a function. So how we define a function is we use def and we name we give the function our name function the name. So our function's name is greet, and what we want to pass in, we want to pass in a name to greet, and then a colon, and then we want to greet this name. So what you can do is you can simply copy or cut it and paste it here. So this part of code is here, and in our loop we can simply say greet this name. So let's, if it's confusing, we can say uh, so yeah, greet will accept a person name and it will say hello to that person and say it will you are welcome. And for the naming, so we can give them all. If we run this, the output will be same. Now if you want to add thank you also here, then it will be, and let's print an empty line here. See, it will do this for everyone. So functions are basically reusable set of codes that we want to use it. For example, if we want to, if we have this grid that will do this, and later in command we do something here, and then later in our program we want to greet another person, like greet, okay, Raju Raja Ramadan. What we can do, we can greet Rocky. So okay, that. So yeah, it will greet Raju Radharam first, and if it will, for example, we need print do something with code. So we do something in our program and then we git Rocky later on. It will just do, it will print them all and then do something with our code and also git Rocky. So basically the use of function is they are reusable. We can use them, this set, we can use this set of codes any way we want. So this is the basic use case of a function. And yeah, this is it. So what do we have now? So yeah, let's take a 10 minutes break and we will also, sorry, 10 minutes will be much. So let's take a 5 minutes break and we will write a program to solve this thing. So it will ask for students marks and it will print the total. So this will be our classwork, or it we will use what we learned now in this program and we will run it. So this will be a, we will do this after the break. So yeah, Surya, can we take 5 minutes break? I think I have spoken for 1 hour.
Sure, sure, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. So let's take 5 minutes break and come back and do this. Hello guys, I'm back. So let's start. Are you guys there? Are you back from your breaks? Yeah. We got one thumbs up. So let's start. Let's resume our. Okay, two thumbs up. So I think we can start now. So it's 7 minutes already. So in this, yeah. So in second part of our session, what we will do is we will put everything that we have learned in a Python program and get something working. Alright. So let me get this here and get this out of here. So yeah, this is basically, so this is a VS Code you guys might have known. So this is my preferred text editor or IDE to write programs. So we will write a program here. So yeah, write a program that accepts students' marks for individual students and displays them collectively. So basically, we'll be creating a result sheet or something like that. So yeah, let's start. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to define what we need to take input from users. So let's simply, so what we want to know from user is we want to know roll number, and let's ask user about user the roll number. So here user will type in roll number, right? It will be shown here. And we want to ask the marks of some subjects. For example, let's say math. So give me marks of math. And we have English. So yeah, give me marks of English. What else can we have? Okay, so we have computer science and give me marks of this also. So what this will do is it will ask for user inputs and assign the input in these variables. And so let's start with simple things first. So we'll print this output. So roll num. So yeah, simply we will print roll number and we will print math English and I think my font size is yeah. So math English computer. Let's run this. If this works, we will continue to adding on another. So to run this file, we have to do like Python 3 and file name. Our file name is test.py. Test.py. Now it is asking me roll number. So my roll number is 1 and my score in math well, 99. Yeah, in English, not so good, maybe 50. And in computer, 80. And if I hit enter, well, it did nothing because we have not printed the output. So let's do this again. Print output. And let's run this again. Roll number is 1, math 99, English 50, computer science 80. So it gave me 1, 99, 50, 80. Yeah. So it will print like this. So we have a simple system that will ask for user input and print it. Now we have to calculate the total score from this. So let's define a variable which is total, and let's sum this math plus English plus computer, and let's print equals to total. Let's do this again. Roll number is 1, math 99 in maths, 80 in English, and 80 in computer science. Oh my god, my total score is, wow, this is too much. So what happened is I can't get this total score. So what happened is this input that we got is string, and we can't do arithmetic operations on a string. It will simply concatenate those strings, and like it will just 99, and it will append 50 here and 60 here. So it just concatenate these strings and give me the final string. But I don't want to do this. I want to do some calculations with this. So what I can do is I can do is make this math a integer value. To perform operations, we have to convert this math into integers. So to do that, what we can do is we can assign math equals to int. So it is integer, and pass the math. So to make things clearer, I can do is maths. I can make this math input, and I will pass math input to int function, and it will give me integer math. So which I can add or subtract. Similarly for English also, I will do English equal to int english English input. Oh my god, English is wrong. Yeah. So yeah, it's English now. For computer also, I will do the same. Computer equal to int computer input, and it will go on here. So now I have maths input converted to integer, English input converted to integer, and computer also converted to integer. So all these are integers, so we can add them up, and it will give me total. Hopefully, let's check this out. So in our terminal, we run this again. My roll number is 1, and I get 99 this time also. Yeah, maybe I get 19 computed this time, so that, and it worked. So I get the total marks. But along with the total, what we also want is usually the percentage. So what I can do is I can find the percentage equals to total marks divided by, so these three are will have full marks of 100 each, so it will be divided by 300. And if I multiply this by this with 100, I think I should get the percentage. And I will write here percentage, and we will get percent symbol also. So let's save this and run this again. I have roll number 1, I have 19 math, 19 English, I got better, and 19 computer also. So my percentage is 90%. So let's do this again. I have 15 math, 17 English, and 19 computer. So I got 70%. Oh, let's see, test this again. I roll number 1, I have 55 in math, 79 in English, 33 in computer. So I got 56.66%. So it's working. Now, this part of our code is working. Now what we need to do is we have to take input from many students. So what we can do is we can simply define a function and say take input, and what it will do is we will just shift this code inside this function. So yeah, in Python you will use indentation or spaces. So to define all these codes are inside this function, we use this 4 spaces or tab, whatever you can use, but don't mix them up, then it will be problematic. So yeah, so I got 4 spaces. Whatever you use the same. So I have 4 spaces. It's usually default by the editor. So all these codes are inside this take input function, right? So now let's write other code. So I have total students equals to, say I have 3 students, and for index for I in total students, let's take input. So what it will do is it will do run this function 3 times. What is the students? Okay, sorry, for I in range, it won't work just like that. So yeah, so for I in range 3, it will take input. Let's do this. Roll number 1, till math, it has math marks is 90, 50, 60. Roll number 2 is 60. Oh, sorry, roll number is 60. Okay, that's also fine. 70, 60, 90. And roll number is 3, 60, 98, and 45. So yeah, it took input from this and printed out. But this is not what we want. We want is take input once and print them all together, right? So what we can do is, so we can return this input. We can store this input as, or we can simply return this output. If we don't print this, we simply return this output here. we return this output, and now we have result equals to an empty list. So we have result a empty list, and for each input it will give us an output. So it is a result. So let's make this results. So it will give individual result, and we will just add this result into our results list. So we insert our individual result to this list. Right? So let's, and then in the end, once we complete this, we print the result. Let's see how this works. Let me also it will just print a new line before taking input so that we can separate it. So roll number is 1, has got 60, 70, 50, and roll number is 2, we got 40, 50, and 60, and roll number is 3, we got 40, 70, and 90. Oops, but it just printed 3 last output. So what's wrong here? My bad, I just printed the individual result. Let's print results here. Let's see. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3. It printed the result, but it's not well formatted, right? So we got this list representation here. So what we can do is we can join all these strings with with a line. We can print it, if we can print everything in this list together with in a separate line, then it would be really nice. So what I can do is for result in results, I can simply print result here. So this should print everything in separate lines. 1, number 2, number 3. So yeah, the result is out together. And let's make it even better. So let's move this into a separate function, which is print result function. It will take results and it will print them. For result in results, print result, it will simply print results. Then we can do is print results here. Let's set this and run. So what we did is, oh sorry, not this, print result, and we pass results here. Simply created a function that prints results, and we call this function here and pass the results. Okay. Run this and 56, 76, 87, roll number 2, 45, 65, 76, roll number 3. So yeah, this is our final result. Let's add uh, let's add a row that defines with the headers as well. So what this, let's print print roll number, and then what do we print in first? Don't know. Math English computer and percentage. So let's remove equals to from here. Let's save this and give it a go. Okay, and let's add a new line before we can do anything. So roll number 1, we can do 76 in math, 56 in computer, and 87 in English. Roll number 2, and roll number 3. So I did get this math, English, computer, percentage. So math, English, computer, percentage. But it's not aligned yet. But it's okay. We can work with this. Or can we make this even better? Let's see. So let's insert tab character in this. So we separate this. So basically in string, we can use backslash to escape some things. So if we just type in T, it will be printed as T, but it's not T, it's tab. So I can write backslash T here. So it will insert a tab here in there. So let's print tab in between the spaces, and here also. Then it should work. Let's run this one more time. Number 1, that's roll number 2, 45, 76, 87, roll number 3. So yeah, we got this a bit better. So yeah, this is the final output that will take input from user and print the final mark sheet or result sheet. So yeah, this way we can we used things that we learned. And I guess this is it. So thank you. You have completed basics of Python. And what next? So before you guys join your next session, please learn. We don't have enough time, so I couldn't teach you everything. But yeah, please learn how to read and write from files, so that in our in this code you can take, rather taking input from user every time, you can simply read a CSV file and convert them into printed into result sheet like we did. And you can explore Python modules and packages. So every code that we wrote here was in a single file. So you can write the codes in multiple files and try importing them, and learn more about classes and objects, and explore the Python standard library. So I gave you the overview of the basic sets of functions or the operations that Python allows, but it has huge functions and modules that helps you with the programming. So yeah, and also the virtual env, that's a new thing, that will be new thing for you, but yeah, so that's it. And if you want to learn more about Python, you can follow this tutorial. It's a tutorial from the Python itself. So python.org, and it has everything you need to know. So you can follow this. And finally, do you have any questions? Thank you. And please throw me some questions.
Hey, thank you, Andrea, for the session. I think there was a couple of questions in the chat box, and
Okay.
I think it was during the sessions, and
Okay. It was, how do we relate Python in AI/ML? So this is the one. I don't think I have any other questions as of now. So yeah, let's answer this. So Python is basically a tool, and AI/ML is a concept. It's a set of algorithms, and you can use Python to implement those. That's the basic answer. But I think what you wanted to ask is, in Python there are various libraries which allows us to use and those algorithms easily without we having to spend much time defining them and writing them. So that's why most of us use Python for the AI/ML, because because of, yeah, libraries basically that's already predefined. And for the AI/ML part, if you I think you guys will dive into this in your next session. So ask there most of the AI/ML parts, because you would be the better person to answer those questions. Do you have anything else?
there is a one question from Rahman. Can we not use directories to hold the subjects and score as a key value pairs?
Yeah, we can do that. So it was so if you do that, it would be much easier for us to handle the result in the print result part, and we can modify it there. So yeah, it's a good thing to do. We can do that.
Okay. Also, there are people asking for the code for
Yeah,
the
I will
uh,
with Suraj, and you will send.
sure.
So yeah, both of these will be available, and the slide also.
Okay. I think there is no more questions to be discussed. And again, thank you for Anurag for doing the session. And we kind of had an issue in the beginning, but I hope we are able to cover a lot of things today on the basics. And as Anurag is sharing, please to go into that Python website where has all the details for you to get started and to be knowing all the details regarding the libraries and all the things related to the upcoming sessions. We will have the discussion more on AML in the next session, which is on next Saturday. And today's session is concluding here. And I have shared the attendance for you to fill out and to make sure that you have been participated. Please do make sure that you fill that out, and the video of this or the recording of this session will be shared in our YouTube channel, which I shared the link in the chat box as well. And again, big thank you for Anurag for taking his time to share more about Python, and thank you all for taking the time on a Saturday to join us. And I hope to have you in the community, and I hope to have you in the next sessions as well. Please be sure to be in the community to get the updates as soon as possible. I have shared the link to our community as well in the chat box. Thank you, and with that, we are ending the today's session. And after you fill out the form, you are free to leave the session. Again, thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining.